let's get to the meat of the show. Yeah, let's do some hacking it in Hollywood. I really appreciate you bringing up a show that I'm, like I said, not the most familiar with, but I've been binging it for the last little while, and I've come across some great characters. So, talk to me about your history with Saved by the Bell and why you chose that as your series. Because we wanted to go with Lost. I know you mentioned that to me first. I would have been Lost because you can't binge
Yeah.
Lost in
If
the
you've
space
never
of 3
watched
days.
Lost, you
Yeah.
couldn't binge. It would take you like, I had to watch it like 3 times through, really, to pick up on shit. It's still one of my favorite shows. I love Lost, but Saved by the Bell is a great show. It's something I grew up with. It's something a lot of people who born 85 and below, from like 75 to 85 probably would enjoy. Which I find there's a lot more people my age than I thought in these streets. You know what I'm saying? Like with all these like data guys and all this thing, I was thinking, it was growing into a young man's game, and I threw some tweet out talking about how like I didn't think I had anybody listening to this show over 40, and like I got like bombarded by all these old heads. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I watch the show all the time, blah blah blah. So I guess there's people my age, but it's a great show, classic show. Went through some weird things. Like the first couple of seasons were really strange. Like with Mrs. They had a teacher, I forget her name, and they were like in elementary school. I think really the show starts when they get to like 8th grade middle school, like later on, when you have like Kelly Kapowski coming in and all that stuff. But it's a show that I grew up on. I've seen every episode. And so it was easy for me to correlate different golfers into these characters.
Perfect. I love that. And I can totally see it. It's a good, honest, good-hearted show that's really funny. It's got some really cheesy zingers in there, and to me, that's just really appealing. I love that kind of humor, kind of like Airplane in a way, but not nearly as hectic as that. So let's get the boys up on the stage here. You rock and rolled with Mr. Belding as Greg Norman. Give us your reasoning.
All right, so you know how Mr. Belding was like the guy that like no one really paid attention to, and like he was just there. Now, obviously, he's a figure of authority. He is the principal of the goddamn school, right? But like in reality, no one really respected him. Like he was basically like, laughed at as a principal and not really respected, aka like Greg is now. A lot of people do not respect him. It doesn't seem like his words carry too much weight. It doesn't seem like he carries his weight and Liv. Like, what the fuck does he do at Liv? Like, does he have any authority? Like, is he just a show pony? Like, what is Greg doing out there? So that's why I think they're very similar. The hairline on the picture, very, very similar. So that's why I'm going with Greg Norman is now Mr. Belding.
I love it. And I think, I try and keep the same characters in if I can, but there were certain ones that I had to switch out because I felt like there was just finding a good picture to represent the guys. It's kind of helps you get there. And I think they look identical. The receding hairline, the not giving a crap about who they really are at the end of the day is just so appealing to me. I think spot on. I went with that off the bat, and I also have Mr. Belding, but I've got my main man, Daniel Berger, as Mr. Belding. I think just similar principle, just you can think about that. DB, more so leaning into the whole enforcing authority, enforcing the rules, making sure that everything is adhered to on the golf course. Mr. Belding does his best to kind of keep it together, and not in the best way, but old DB, boy, oh boy, is he a rule Nazi, right? And we've seen this guy just completely get himself into the heart of every rule controversy that there is about half the time it's involving Daniel Berger. So enforcing the rules, I don't think there's anyone on the PGA Tour that I think does it more, at least currently on the tour. I don't know. Do you have anyone you think that makes more decisions on the golf course based about rules? Like think about the Ryder Cups. DB's just standing there, just listening and making sure that he's right in the circle while these officials are busy kind of giving Brooks his ruling or whatever, right? And it's just
I like that. I like that. That's very good. I got to say, that's very, very good.
Let's go. All right. So that's my situation there. I've got a few guys that I want to chat about too, but I'm going to bring up your next dude, which is
Okay.
Jesse as old Dustin Johnson.
All right.
Hit me.
So everyone knows Jessie is like that tall, lanky. She was athletic as well. She could have possibly a drug problem, right? The most famous episode of Saved by the Bell probably ever was the episode where Jessie takes too much speed. She's losing her mind, basically almost ODing on speed. And also, she was very, very quick to go to Slater, to get with Slater. And I don't know, do you have Slater later on?
Oh yeah,
no?
we've got Slater twice.
So I'll leave why that reasoning is. Well, fuck it, you guys already know. She went straight to Slater. That was her man's. Quickly on the show, right? DJ, tall, lanky, could have a drug problem, right? And then one of the first guys to bounce to Yasser. And for me, Yasser is AC Slater, right? And so he was one of the first guys to jump over. So these two, very, very alike to me, I think.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And just the physical attributes along with, I mean, it's tough to, before I started doing the show with people, I was kind of thinking of like doing a grading structure with appearance, with personality, with name. Like if you could like kind of do like the Top Gear kind of leaderboard of lap times, but that was just too complicated. But you've nailed like pretty much every single trait that I'm kind of looking for there. And I think it's perfect. And also like going for like the cream of the crop when it comes to individuals as well. Like Paulina she's 10 out of 10, like yes. AC Slater, also
good
10 out of 10.
Guy. Good looking
Very
dude.
good looking guy. So I'll just double you down. You're kind of rolling with him. Tell us why AC Slater's Yasser.
Okay, well, this is based upon Zach and Slater's rivalry, right? Do you have Zach later on?
I have Zach, yes.
Okay, so we'll go over Zach later, but this is based on the rivalry. I have Zach as Monahan. I have Slater as Yasser. It's a lot easier to explain why Zach is Monahan. Slater, both supremely confident guys, right? Probably overconfident at some times. Both are out there living large, right? I mean, they got what they need. The difference is, Slater was poor growing up. Yasser, not poor. Also, so I mean, those are the main differences. Also, color of their skin, similar. I don't know. It's a lot easier to explain Zach than it is Slater. But since they were rivals, Zach and Slater, it just made it easy to make it Yasser and Zach, or Yasser and Monahan.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think I never had him as like a bad boy, like as bad as, Yasser. But I can see how you're getting there, and it makes a lot of sense when you're pairing it up with Zach. And I'm just realizing now that I don't think I put together a Zach slide for you, but I have a Zach slide for me. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Double it down. Here's my Slater comp, and it's Adam Scott. Now, just want to, before we get into Adam, have an honorable mention here, and I didn't want to put...
Where the hell did you get that picture?
Now, my browser history, since doing the show, my browser history has taken a bit of a turn, okay? There's some suggestions that come up that putting up lots of random topless men for these slides.
Like, I'm straight, but he's so pretty, I felt a twinge. Like, for real. I mean, in that picture right there. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's pretty.
I mean, this is back Scotty in his prime before even like the Silver Grizz. And I mean, the guns. I mean, it's literally, if he had some curlier hair, I think that would be an identical spitting replica image. And before I get to Adam Scott, and just, I mean, there's not a lot to really go off here outside of the actual looks and just being extremely athletic looking, just the most handsome guy in every single room that they walk into, just an overpowering, I mean, wearing his khaki tanimal outfit and still just looking like he's walked off a runway it's a superpower to me. Like this guy, it's a hot stuff, and we both, like we said, pretty straight here. And I mean, we can both agree he's easily the most good looking individual we can kind of put our minds to there. So Adam Scott's one of them. And then it was going to be an honorable mention. I got to say, Sia Najad. I know he's not a PGA professional, but our main man, Sia, I cannot stop I can only imagine this was Sia growing up. I mean, the guy's...
Sia lives in the building I work at. I saw him 2 days ago.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Sia lives in the building I work at. So I saw him walking out of my building. He told me he lived there. We've chatted before. But I've been on his show a couple of times. And basically, like, I saw him and we were like, I saw him 2 days ago.
That's insane. That's so insane.
One of the best guys out in the game.
Oh my God.
Like, if you're looking for like I'm an asshole prick, right? I'm saying, but if you're looking for like a truly good person, like on these golf Twitter touting whatever streets, it's Sia. That guy is just the best, right? And he has a show. He hosts a show in our local sports cable channel that I watch on a daily basis. He's great on the TV, always wearing a medium shirt, so he looks like extra swole. You know what I'm saying? But one of the best guys out there.
And he doesn't even have to wear the schmedium, because I've seen photos. I've seen him like posing with a basketball in like videos. He like drains a half quarter every month. Like, he does a video. He's so extremely talented when it comes to sport. And he's just so charismatic and amazing, and just so amazingly like approachable. Like, anybody can feel like they can walk up to Sia as like the stardom that he's ascended to. He's still just ground zero, dude. The guy is just down to earth, and he's really, he does his Sia Najad Sports podcast as well, where he does like the inspirational, like motivational people on there.
Yeah, that's always great, man.
It's like, that to me is so important, because everyone does all this stuff, and I think it's just good to have a bit of reality in the mix as well, right? Because
Wiley used to do that on his show. I don't know if you listened to Golflandia back in the day, but Wiley used to do that a lot too.
Yes. I've only been on the scene for like the last 3 years or so. So I'm unfamiliar of the OG Wiley, but it makes the world of sense. And we need that.
Wiley sent me a signed Ovechkin jersey in 2017 for, I guess I was promoting. I liked his work and I was pushing it on Twitter, whatever. He mailed me a signed Ovechkin jersey, one of the coolest things ever.
I mean, that's priceless stuff.
It's weird. I've gotten mad gifts.
Paraphernalia that just come from.
I've gotten a hat. I've gotten that jersey. I've gotten like 4 pairs of golf shoes.
You can almost make the full outfit.
I've gotten like Nagel's Bagels just sent me a Capitals T marker, a ball marker. Jeffrey, nice kid. He's older than me. Nice guy. It's been a crazy 10 years. I gotta say, it's been.
Kenny, you said you're a dick, but you're not a dick. Like, you come off a little brash, but underneath everything there, we all know you're.
I try to be a nice guy. When I can.
You are. Yeah. So don't sell yourself short. You're fine. And who's like not necessarily the nicest guy, and we get some stereotypes, is old Patty Ice, Patrick Cantlay.
Okay. All right. The reason I picked this one was because, like, Stacy was like the new flavor of the month, right? Basically, like, when Zach and Kelly, and I don't think I told Byron what I think Kelly is, and I'll save that for the very end. Okay. Miss Kapowski. But when Zach and Kelly weren't dating anymore, they broke up, but they all, like, there's this one season of Saved by the Bell where it's like in the summer, and they like all work at this like beach resort, right? Yes. And Stacy is that's what's her face from King of Queens, the anti-Scientology, like, going off on Scientology. Can't believe she's still alive doing that shit, but she is, right? And so so this was like Zach's like replacement for Kelly. And so Patrick Cantlay is basically now become Rory's replacement on the board. He's the new player guy. He's the one that says some people that he's got a lot of control in the game for the PGA since Rory stepped back. And so that's why I give Stacy from the Beach Patrick Cantlay, because it's the new flavor of the week.
I love it. The Mai Tai flavor of the week, baby. I think it's a great comp. I haven't got to the point where they meet Stacy, but I did, obviously pulling her image up. I did some Googling, and it was definitely, she shows up and steals the show for a hot minute there. And she looks very sassy as well. Like, just this photo is Very sassy, and from what I understood,
the look, like they both have resting bitch face right there.
so much resting bitch face.
Yeah.
And she's also like daddy's girl, like with all the Goldman Sachs marketing. I feel like that's a great little kind of, just real trust fund situation in a way. So
yep.
I love it. So now I'm going to need your help here. Is this guy's name Mike, or is it Max, or the waiter?
Max. Max. So you're talking about he's a very obscure character. Like if you weren't a fan of Saved by the Bell, you probably wouldn't know who his ass is. But he runs the burger shop where everyone goes to eat after school. But it's only like 8 people that are ever in that restaurant, and like 6 of them are always the same. Don't know how they make money that way. Especially, it's not like these like high school kids are tipping his ass. Right?
No,
whatever.
No.
Anyways, but yes, you know what? I don't even remember what he sounds like.
He's just always showing up and doing magic tricks from what I've seen so far. And I think maybe he's got like a part-time magic gig. He's a magician on the side. Maybe that's how he subsidizes the burger shop. And I feel like Sahith, the guy, where he hits his golf ball off the tee, he's pulling rabbits out of a hat pretty much every other shot, right? Like it's just magic trick after magic trick. And he's a magician around the greens. He's a magician in the trees. I love what Seth can get up to from the scrambling side of things. And then also from what I read, he's like always giving the kids some sound advice. He's always like the voice of reason, I think, in the shit that's going on in their world, the teenage drama. He's always like dialing it down, giving them some sort of guidance. I feel like Sahith, he's a chess master, like he's always thinking about the next move ahead. He's very strategic in his way he goes about life, and a very mature individual for his age and like the amount of time he spent on the PGA Tour. So those were the 2 ways.
Also, Thagala's eyebrows very similar to Max's hair.
Exactly.
Very similar to Max's hair.
Yes, and the hair. So speaking of hair, let's get the hair gang in here. Boom. All right, no, that's not my hair. That's not the guy I'm looking for. I've got another hair gang for you. We are rocking and rolling. Yeah, it is. Talk to me, Kenny. We got Screech as Rory.
It's a great picture.
I'm glad I found this photo. So let it go, baby.
All right. So Rory, basically was like, in Jay Monahan's like, little minion, right? Like Jay was just telling him what to do, and Rory was just going along, following him and doing whatever and trying to be good for that. And then, after a little bit of time, Rory realized, this motherfucker right here, Jay, not really helping my ass. You know what I'm saying? Not really my friend, right? At least he's not really treating me like one. And he looks over at Slater, who's Oscar, and he's like, he's looking more, at least Slater keeps Screech safe. Like, Screech will never, so Screech is like looking at Slater like, this guy might be better for me than freaking Zach. And that's what Rory thinks. Like, after his talk in the last couple of weeks, he's like, maybe Yasser might be better for me than Jay Monahan. Should I go to live? The way he's talking, it's giving everyone something to talk about when it comes to it. And so that's why I have Screech, because Screech always used to just follow along Zach, right? He was Zach's little bitch boy, whatever, right? Basically, Rory was Monahan's little bitch boy for a while. I'm sorry, it's just who he was. Yeah. And so, but then, after the series goes on, like, Zach treats fucking Screech like shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, for friends, like, really, like, Zach does some fucked up shit to Screech, right? And so, again, Monahan to Rory, like, Roy didn't know about the freaking talks until like 8 hours before this shit came out live. And he was one of the guys that was on the board who was supposed to know everything, right? And so Jay doesn't treat Rory well.
Preach, baby. Yeesh. Yeah.
And so Rory is Screech.
Oh, my God. And the little love triangle between Slater, Zach, and Screech that you got there between the gang, that's just, it's perfect. Perfect. I don't have much more to say about. We obviously did a great job there of describing who Screech is to those of you that don't know. But also, like, he's super nerdy. He's super smart, right? I just watched recently. The last episode I watched was he had Kelly swooning over him just by how intelligent he was and how nerdy he was, and just super, super geeky and romantic in that way. And I feel like Bryson, in the same like vein, is his nerdiness, his crazy, like over the top scientist mode, just really lets some people be a little endearing to him, because like we kind of want to see that thrive in golf. But at the same time, he's just a completely awkward individual that has hardly any business being in any situation without like not knowing what to do. I feel like Bryson he's just so awkward, and that's just the thing that I'm kind of associating with Screech, and just the nerdiness. And there's no one more scientific and mathematically inclined, I guess, on the PGA than Bryson. I almost called him Screech, but yeah. If he had some curlier hair back when he was younger, like the little acne, I think Screech was so pumped that he got a pimple, right? Because he's like a man now. And then the pimple disappeared, and he's like, God damn it, I'm back to being like a little youngster. So I feel like Bryson kind of, when he got the pimples, it was more like muscles, So look who showed up.
If you're watching, I hope you go back. If you were watching for the last like 10 minutes, we talked about you in excess.
In excess, and we gave away your home address. We gave away everything personal about you. No, just kidding. Go back to where you see Slater and Yasser on this. No, it's going to be Slater and Adam Scott, because that's where I kind of went with the comp. So if you're looking for just the photo, that's when we started speaking about you. Sorry for that, but yeah, welcome to the show. You haven't missed a beat, my friend. Welcome. So yeah, that's Bryson for me. You had Lisa Turtle as old Phil, and Kenny, before I hand it over to you, I tell you what, the amount of people that have had Phil Mickelson as one of their characters, it just goes to show what Liv has done. And I've said this a few times on the show already. They took the best characters, and we all know this. That's just kind of the situation. But the amount of Liv people that get put into these casting roles, it just goes to show what we're missing on the TV, not even from a golf situation, but from a personality perspective.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, Lisa's entirely full of herself, right? She thinks her shit does not fucking stink, right? I mean, that's her big thing. She's basically the black teenage version of Fig Jam. That's what she is, right? And Phil is basically the same, right? Actually, the funny thing is, if you look at Lisa Turner right now, she's probably whiter than Phil is. I don't know. She went through that Sammy Sosa type thing, right? I don't know if you guys have seen Lisa Turtle, Lark Voorhees here recently, but straight up her and Sammy Sosa going through the same issues, right? And I can tell you that. Anyways, hold on, my computer's doing some crazy shit after I talked about Sammy Sosa. But Phil, Phil, entirely full of himself, thinks he is the greatest that ever lived, right? And like the thing is, I sort of like Phil now more. When I was growing up, I hated his ass. He was my most hated player. First off, because I thought he was fake. I thought everything he spoke on the mic was manufactured, was planned. Especially in his younger age. And I was a big Tiger fan, and this was his big rival, right? So you hate Phil, right? But as he's gotten older, like the fireside chats were amazing. His Twitter game was amazing. Like he became like this new type of person to me. And then he went to Live. And I was like, okay, you're going to Live. But like, I didn't stop hating him, stop loving him. But everybody else did. Good Lord. He caught so much flack for that. But anyways, going back to the Lisa Turtle comparison, he just is so full of himself, and he thinks he is the greatest that ever lived. And so Lisa thinks the same thing. The funny thing is Screech and Lisa had a little bit of a thing. They really liked each other, but it sort of went away. I think if I remember correctly, it wasn't even like very nice the way that Lisa broke it down to him. I think she ended up apologizing to him, but like she did some like fucked up shit to him. And so basically, Rory and Phil, they don't like each other anymore. I mean, back in the day, I'm sure they had a good relationship. I don't remember, but now not anymore.
Just not tolerate. And I know, even early on, man, she's just a total bitch to him. It's just, he goes out of his way. I think when they were like doing the marriage, the episode where they all get married and like do it for like the human sciences or whatever, he's like the nicest husband ever. And she's just a total bitch, like the whole time. And, I'm I'm so happy you brought that up because it's a completely valid comparison. And I think most of Phil's characters haven't necessarily been cast in the most beautiful light, right? So, but speaking of beautiful, we've got our girl Kelly here and Jordan Spieth. And I think my comp here, they're both beautiful in different ways. You both of them, you cannot get enough of, as a watcher of the show and as a DFS bettor, as a golf fan. Nobody can get enough of Jordan Spieth. The beauty, the brilliance, the out of this world appearance on the TV, the shots, the scrambling. Just Jordan Spieth is just a 10 out of 10 when it comes to like entertainment factor, right? And I think they both get away with a touch of naivety, a touch of idiocracy, a touch of this, a touch of that, because of how they come across. She's beautiful. Jordan Spieth is just a sensationally entertaining golfer, yet the stuff like he gets up to doesn't often get critiqued as much as it really should at the end of the day, right? So to me, that was just Jordan Spieth is just a complete package, when it comes to just being the 10 out of 10 beauty golfer. And I think Sia with a Kelly being the Brooks, I think that's a cap out.
Sia goes Brooks. I would say, okay, I didn't tell you who I had Kelly as.
Okay.
So I have Zach as Jay Monahan. I have AC Slater as Yasser. And I have Kelly Kapowski as the fans, as us. Yes. We are the pretty Kelly Kapowski, and Zach and Slater are fighting for us. They both want us, and they're not really doing a great job of getting us.
No,
that's basically the whole story of the show, right? That's basically the whole story of the show. Both of these, at least early on, until AC really goes after Jesse, and they were together like the last couple of years of the show. But in the beginning, Zach AC was trying to get. Who doesn't want to get with Kelly? Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And so they're both trying and they both fuck up so many times. Right. And we're the fans and we're just fucking dealing with the fuck ups. Basically, that's where we are in golf right now. We are Kelly Kapowski and we are dealing with Zach Morris and AC Slater's fuck ups. And we just hope to God that one of them motherfuckers can get their shit together because, we got to go with one of them. We got to go with one. So we'll see.
Someone needs to show up with the ring, baby, and just make it official for us because we need it. We are great. We're just craving a good product right now.
This past week, Liv is moving up with the watch every shot of every person. That would be helpful. I would like to see that. I'm Kelly Kapowski.
Let's go. And we'll like undress ourselves a little if we have to. Just give us the opportunity. Like woo us a little bit, make us feel important. They just aren't at all. In any capacity. So I'm Kenny, my God, I totally forgot to put the fans in there as Kelly, but boom. I think you absolutely nailed it.
I didn't tell you about that. I didn't even put Kelly on the thing.
No,
I didn't know you were going to do it this way.
Oh no, it's all good. So go ahead and I'll give my take as Zach for JT. Mm-hmm. I think if you want to fill out, why Jay Monahan is there after me.
No, I like this. I like this.
Yeah. So Zach, from what I understood, early in the seasons, he's always trying to he always finds himself in a situation that's less than ideal. Most likely because he's trying to attain something that shouldn't be attainable and gets himself into trouble. But at the end of the episode, every single time, Justin Thomas gets up and down from pretty much anywhere. Zach gets himself out of the shit like 24. This guy is a Houdini of the 1989 sitcom that is Saved by the Bell. Like the way he can just evade like the most dire of circumstances, he's phenomenal at that. And I think Justin Thomas is just really, really good at keeping himself, limiting the damage, finding himself in some really dire situations and getting out of them. So I'm thinking JT's in that respect, definitely some Zach Morris. And then also the fact that Zach early on, like these comps are all for me, like early in the season. He just never gets what he's looking for. He just never gets what he's looking for. Every now and then he gets a win. JT, obviously the PGA back-to-back, or twice in his career. But if you go look at Justin Thomas's like data golf page, it's top 5 after top 5 after top 5. Hardly any wins for someone that top 5s as much as Justin Thomas did when he was playing good golf. Just not enough wins for me. And I think the same as Zach. He keeps finding himself looking for the unattainable stuff and just never quite getting there. So that to me was just the reasoning I went with JT. And they look, I mean, you know where I first, you know that kid that like takes the sunglasses off? That's where when Justin Thomas was wearing his sunnies, those
David
were
Caruso.
Is that I don't know who it is, but
you don't know that meme, CSI Miami.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Every time David Caruso, like he's about to solve the crime, he takes off his sunglasses and looks into the TV. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought this kid was that kid, the sunglasses kid as well. And I think JT can, he looks like this little cheese ball too. They look very similar as well. So hit me with your Jay Monahan.
I mean, Zach Morris is Jay Monahan. Like, entitled, talks out of his neck. You know what I'm saying? Sort of clownish. You never can really trust what either one of them is saying. Like, lies fly out of their mouth so easily, especially Zach, like early on when he's like really young. And that's when you lie a lot, when you're like a little kid. Now, as he got older, he got more respectable. But let's go for young Zach Morris here, which is what I think Monahan is. Just a guy who you cannot trust, who's super entitled. And when you look at him, you just get angry. Like, you don't know why. But like he makes you angry. And like both of these guys, like, they make me angry whenever I see him, especially young Zach. Zach older, okay, I like him a little bit more when he got older. But like young, like middle school, like freshman year, like early hitting on Kelly Kapowski, like I was Team AC, man. Fuck, something about Zach just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, he got away with fucking everything. Yeah. And he still kept his shit, just like fucking Jay, who gets away with fucking everything, talks out of both sides of his neck. No one can fucking believe him. No player fucking trusts him. Yet he keeps his job. Like, I'm going to stick to my job. And he gave himself a raise. I don't know, man. Fuck those two.
Preach, baby. Preach. And while you're saying all of this, doesn't Zach, he does these little things where he looks at the camera and says what he's thinking, and everyone else just can't hear what he's saying. And I feel like that's exactly what Jay Monahan does. He comes to the camera, he says what he's thinking to all of us. We believe what he's saying, but in the back of his head is just complete bullshit.
Yeah, and it's just total lies.
Complete lies. It's just, but he keeps getting on the camera and saying those things, looking us in the eye.
And he keeps winning.
And he
keeps winning, keeping his job. And Zach got the girl, and like, it's just fucked up shit. Both those motherfuckers. I hate them.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm all out of slides, but did you have any more takes you wanted to say?
I think that was my final one, but I mean, basically it's Zach and it's AC, it's Monahan and it's Yasser, and they're fighting for Kelly Kapowski, who's us. We're the fans. We're Kelly.
Kenny, I mean, I've said it to a few of my guests on already, like, you just took it to the next level from a calm situation. Like, the whole love triangle, the whole plot of the show, nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. I haven't had someone link up like multiple characters like that in the love triangle of the PGA and the show. So,
well, here's the thing. After golf, TV is my next love. Like, I love TV. Like, I watch, I used to be addicted. I've been addicted to a lot of things in my life, right? Yeah. This addiction I have to TV right now is like the strongest it's ever been. Like, I have like one more episode. Just one more episode. Like, I need to go to bed. I'm like, I just need one more episode. And so like I can go, like, I started 24, which is 208 episodes. I started it like less than 2 weeks ago. I'm on season 5.
Jesus Christ.
And it's 24 episodes a season.
How many minutes in an episode?
45.
Jesus Christ, Kenny.
So like, it's an addiction, but I love it. I love good TV. I could talk about it all. I could probably talk about it more than golf.
All right, so give me your top 5 TV shows.
Man, shit. I mean, Sopranos, of course, The Wire, of course, Breaking Bad. Those are the ones that everyone loves. One underrated show that I love, Banshee. Like, if you like violence, if you like gruesome physical fighting violence, and Naked Women, great show. Underrated. Leftovers is up there as well. Lost. You got to give me some time. I really have to think of it. It literally changes for me. Like my top 5 will change on like a 4-month basis.
And not because of what
I
you
rewatch
watched.
so many shows and I see new ones. Like there's so many great shows out there. So yeah.
Yeah. That's a great, I mean, and that's the thing is a lot of people like we were chatting about Sia and how we need these like inspirations and these crutches in our life. A TV show can be that. I listen to some AJR every now and then, and there's like a song that they do literally about The Office and how The Office got him through like a depressive spell or blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. That is like so many people glom onto these TV shows and things to just kind of, just it's a big part of people's lives. And I think it's really awesome that we have this available to us, right?
The Americans, Fringe. It's another one. Underrated Fringe.
All right. I'm gonna have to go back and listen, make sure I watch all of these.
Go watch Fringe. Fringe is up there. And no one's really watched it, but Fox is really nice and gave us 5 seasons of it, even though no one was watching, because the show is so fucking good. Like the people at Fox were like, I love this show. I don't care that no one's watching. Yeah. I'm gonna make it go longer. And that's like unprecedented shit. Like you never heard shit like that before about TV. If no one was watching, the shit was gone. Like these guys kept it on Fox because they thought it was great, and it was.
Let's go. Okay, you said Fringe. Fringe is that show.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm in. I'm absolutely in, Kenny. Awesome stuff.